A new report that really is a warning about rising online activity by right-wing extremists in Canada. And this is raising concerns about the possibility of increased acts of violence in real life. Elizabeth Thompson is in Ottawa with details for us today. So Elizabeth, good morning. Tell us a bit more about this report.
Good morning. Well, basically, if you think back to last February, Public Safety Minister Bill Blair banned a number of right-wing extremist groups in Canada because of concerns about what had happened at the Capitol building a month earlier. Now, what this report has found, it's going to be released later this week, but what it has found is that while these groups may have been banned and others like them may have been banned, they have been very active online and in fact, even more active than usual during the pandemic. Mackenzie Hart is one of the authors of the report. Here's what she had to say.
In Canada, we found that right-wing extremists were more active in 2020 than they were in 2019. The accounts belonging to right-wing extremists were more prevalent and more accessible.
The researchers managed to track more than 2,000 different accounts in Canada that could be considered right-wing extremists. Some posted hateful racial slurs, others expressed anger or aggression towards particular people or groups out there in society. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and his government's COVID restrictions were a frequent target of those attacks. Some actively promoted pandemic misinformation or conspiracy theories. And while the Proud Boys may have been banned by Bill Blair, they're very active on Telegram. They've got 2 Canadian channels.
So I wonder, Elizabeth, how concerned should Canadians be about this right-wing extremism and the rise of online hate?
Well, some people tend to dismiss this kind of activity online, saying, hey, they're just keyboard warriors. It's never going to translate into real life and that. But as Mackenzie Hart says, the problem is that sometimes what happens online does transfer into the real world. Here's what she had to say.
We should be concerned with what's spreading online. It's easy to sort of have a disconnect between online and offline spaces, but we've seen that worldwide instances of violence motivated by right-wing extremism have risen 250%.
Now, the researchers looking at the Canadian accounts found that they were often very much interested in and tied with what is happening in the United States, where we've been seeing a lot more extremist, even violent activity on the part of right-wing extremists. And they're also concerned that as the pandemic restrictions lift, that all these Canadians who've been sitting online, being exposed to these accounts and these thoughts and these feelings, and that could actually translate into more right-wing extremist activity in Canada. And at the moment, neither the governments nor the social media companies seem to be able to curb the spread of this kind of right-wing extremism.
Elizabeth, thank you for this. Elizabeth Thompson in Ottawa.